Now more of our Female First Today series in honor of Women's History Month.
It's been so fun, Jenna. Who do you have this morning?
Today we talk about women in politics, and we hear from those who paved the way for women like Minnesota State Representative Ilhan Omar, the country's first female Muslim refugee in elected office.
They must have the courage and the guts to take a stand and not equivocate.
Together, we prove the political experts wrong.
We are an ambitious and determined people.
The time for diplomacy is now.
First woman Speaker of the House or President of the United States.
My name is Ilhan Omar, and I'm the first Somali-American Muslim legislator in the country.
We did it!
Omar was elected last year in her home state to the Minnesota House of Representatives.
Did you feel like you had more to prove because you were a woman?
It wasn't just the women barrier, right? I also had the cultural barrier of being a Muslim.
Omar is the first female Muslim refugee legislator elected in the country.
My faith, Islam, truly means peace. But I think because people don't take the time to understand what this faith is about, they make judgments that are harmful.
Born in Somalia in 1982, when she was 8, Omar's family fled due to the Civil War. She spent 4 years in a refugee camp in Mombasa, Kenya. In 1995, her family immigrated to the U.S. At 14, Omar fell in love with politics when she was her grandfather's interpreter at local political meetings in Minneapolis.
Watching his excitement over this process, that for me instilled a great sense of wanting to participate in this process.
Omar was inspired by Representative Shirley Chisholm, the first African-American woman elected to Congress.
Shirley Chisholm's mannerisms in sort of saying, if you are a person who feels like you should have a voice at that table, if they don't have a chair for you, you bring a lawn chair, sort of spoke to my heart.
Why are women not running for public office in large numbers the way that men are?
There is certain scrutiny that is placed on female leaders that is not placed on male leaders. So if you're a mother, people ask, how are you going to find the balance? If you are a father, nobody asks that question. And the other thing is that we think we need to have more education. We need to have more experience. We had one of the most qualified candidates in our nation's history running for office. And because she was a female, everybody wanted to tear her down in some way.
The 34-year-old is a mother of 3.
You have young girls. What do you hope you do as far as changing the conversation about what they can become?
My daughter, since she was 5, has kind of talked about her desire to someday be president. And she sees that there is a path that someone like her mother is able to hold public office.
Omar also recognizes the responsibility of being a first female in politics.
Because when you are the first, it's really important that you are not just climbing the ladder yourself, but that you are leaving the ladder for everyone else to climb after you.
Issues of that forum.
And she hopes her public service and her life inspire others.
I think people can say, Ilhan, who had a life in a refugee camp as a young kid, who came here only speaking 2 words of English, who ran for office in a time where there was extreme hateful rhetoric, if she was able to do it, then I can do that.
Omar's grandfather, who's no longer living, she said she thinks about him a lot. He introduced her to politics, and she thinks that he'd be proud of how far she's come. And I have to say, as a mom and as a woman, this is the type of person that should run for office. She's lived a very full life.
And how much she appreciates these institutions of democracy and having a seat at the table when it was so different in the country she grew up in.
Exactly, and she's hit the ground running. She's already introduced a few bills, and she really wants to make positive change.
Another great story. Yeah. Jenna, thank you very much.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.